Yet you can hear our stories and find tools and services available to you.
The AM 950 2024 calendar is still available, and it's not too late to get yours, featuring photos I took around Minnesota and important progressive dates. Members that sign up for a one-time $25 membership will receive a 2024 AM 950 calendar as a thank you gift. Make a one-time $50 or $100 donation. You'll get the AM 950 calendar and a brand new AM 950 tote bag as a thank you. Go to am950radio.com for the details on the membership. That's am950radio.com. Thanks to everyone who's already received their calendar, and thank you so much for supporting AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Magus Books, your multicultural spiritual supply store. Stop in and expand your horizons with books, classes, readings, and supplies at magusbooks.com or in our shop at 1848 Central Avenue Northeast in Minneapolis. From the best incense to beautiful statues, we have supplies and books for your spiritual explorations. Come in and chat with our knowledgeable staff and get what you need for your next adventure, whether you're fighting ghosts or opening your third eye. Check us out today at magusbooks.com.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Cloudy tonight with a low of 0, wind chills down near 15 below. Wednesday, sunshine with a high of 8 above, but wind chills of 15 below. Don't drive too fast or you'll miss Scotch Mama's Hot Barbecue, offering big taste out of a little place. On the corner of Nicollet and Diamond Lake Road in South Minneapolis, just west of I-35W. ScotchMamas.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story. This is our story. This is Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken.
And this is Ghostbox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakken. Thank you very much for joining me on this Tuesday evening. I'm sorry I wasn't able to do a show last night, and I missed it very much. When you don't do it, you miss it. I talked about this last week or whatever week it was that we talked about the angels, talked about how when you're not doing it, you kind of are like, why am I not doing this? It's certainly not like, oh, thank goodness I have the night off. It's not like that at all. I miss talking with you all. I miss having somebody on and having a good conversation. And really, honestly, I would say 99.9% of the times that we do the show, we're having good conversations. There was only one time I could think of that wasn't quite as stellar. But you know what? They can't always be stellar. I mean, that's my side of the mic. I don't know what you're all thinking on the other side listening. You might all be like, whatever. Well, first of all, happy Tuesday. It's, the start of my week. It's a short week for me. Well, actually it's not. But one of the things I like to do from time to time, and I haven't done this since I've done the weekly show, now we're weeknights, is something I just call paranormal chat. And that's just one of the great times that we can just all talk about the same sort of thing. What's on your mind? Put it in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking, because I'm willing to talk about anything. And I don't come to this as somebody who knows what he's talking about. And when I say that, I have my ideas, I have my thoughts. Always remember, folks, there's no experts in the paranormal field, right? There are no experts. If someone says I'm an expert, run from them. And the reason that is simply because we don't know what's going to happen in that field. Like as far as anything paranormal, like don't have an answer of what's on the other side until we go over there. And I hope for many of you that's not going to be anytime soon. So, whatever's on your mind, I have a couple things I want to talk about tonight. Chuck had written, he had wondered, how do we get autographed photos of who, Chuck? Of Mr. Zero? Is that what you want? Mr. Zero autograph photos? Because we can do that for you for sure. Mr. Brad Webb, who I need to bring the REM pod that you had made for us that says AM 950. I need to put it in my office out here, so it's always available. Will you ever do another pop-up spirit box session again? I would love to. I just need to find a time when I'm not so tired to do so. I actually thought about doing one last night, as it happens, but I didn't, because then I would have been competing against myself, so to speak. But on Facebook at the very least. So yes, I need to do one. That's something interesting too. I don't know about the rest of you who do paranormal investigating. I know some of you listening will definitely understand what I'm talking about. Those who don't, no shame whatsoever. We all do things differently, but there is that longing, right? That longing to be able to speak with spirit again, to be able to get that response. And I don't even mean in a public investigation setting or anything else. What you need is just that connection, and that's I'm missing that so much, and I do need to do one. Brad, you're absolutely right. I do need to do one. For those of you who I'm horrible. I am on Greg Koss's show tomorrow. He is on another network. I cannot remember the name of the network. I cannot remember the name of the show. He's moved around. But I'm doing a spirit box session on there tomorrow. It's going to be what we call the Estes method. And for those who do not know, for those like spirit box session of spirit box, of course, is that radio that scans radio frequencies at alternating frequencies and alternating speeds. And the belief, which I firmly hold, is that you could pick up spirit interaction. And I've had some great time. Matter of fact, tonight I was going to run some spirit box evidence recordings that I picked up, but I'm going to save that for another night. But the Estes method is one where a couple of us are doing spirit box session. We're blindfolded. We have earphones on, something that muffles what we can hear, so we can only hear spirit box through the earphones. And from there, we are seeing if we're picking up anything that correlates to what the people who are running the session are asking for, if that makes sense. So we have no idea what they're asking, but we are responding. And that is why we're gonna do that tomorrow. It'll be interesting. I haven't done that in a while. I'm not the biggest fan of it, to be very honest. But sometimes it's very interesting. Sometimes it's very interesting indeed. A number of you are commenting in the comment section. If you are listening on the radio and you'd like to comment on something, go ahead. Go to Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken on Facebook. And that is where, as well as AM 950 Radio Facebook page, you can interact with us. We're supposed to be getting some kind of text thing where you can, if you are just listening and you're not on Facebook, you could text me and I can answer questions or get your statements or get your comments. And I was told about this in July. No, I wasn't. I was told about it in April, and it hasn't happened yet. And things move at different speeds for various reasons, but boy, I wouldn't mind being able to implement that, because I think there's a lot of people out there who would love to send us a comment and talk about it. Whether or not you agree with what I'm saying or the guests I have on, we'd still love to know what you're saying. So Chuck is saying, I need a Greg Bakken 8x10 for my celebrity collection. Yeah, well, there goes the neighborhood if I gave you one of those. Let's see. Brad had said that no more alien sessions. They never end well, and alien sessions are stuff that I like to do. I'm still would love to do a CE5 session, which would be one where we try to really go out into a field and get alien interaction. It's always funny talking about this stuff on the air, because I don't mind talking about it on the air. I don't know if the casual listener realizes that I'm not just a host that likes to talk about ghosts and aliens and stuff, that I actually go and look for them and try to partake in their lives and hope they partake in mine. But that is, I walk the walk as best as I can. I really try to. Julianne says, let me see if I can find my mouse. The case of the missing mouse. There we go. Julianne says, I had a question come up about paranormal photography. Why do some ghosts appear in black and white where others appear in color digital photography? And, honestly, I'm sure somebody will come by and say that there's a reason for it. I personally don't know if there would be a logical reason for it. I sometimes think that stuff like that happens in two ways. One is that spirit decides how they want us to see them. I think the other is that we might accidentally catch them. Like we weren't planning on catching them. They weren't planning on being seen, but everything was in the right setting, in the right order. Things were lined up correctly. And that's where we end up with getting spirit photography. And then there's a third possibility, and that's simply something that we are seeing residual energy, and maybe there's a reason for that residual energy to look the way it does. And like I said, somebody's going to come by and they're going to be like, well, the reason is, I don't think we really know. I don't think how can we explain how spirit works? I mean, you can say, obviously, and as you say, Julianne, energy science. I mean, obviously energy is needed for this to work. Energy, we need energy to bring forward, spirits, just like running the spirit box. You have energy that is populating what we have going on there. Remember, we had Gary Galka on, who is the inventor of the PSB-7, and he had said that he has found with his research that it's the stations that are the closest, best coming through, is where the energy is coming from. So I have many people in that paranormal teams that I've run into, especially the local ones, who they always think that they know best. And they take off the antenna on the spirit box because they are all like, well, we don't want the interference of the radio stations. You need the radio stations. That is what Gary is saying. You need those radio stations. That is why he kept the antenna on the spirit boxes. If he thought that they were a detriment, he would have taken them off, right? And he didn't do that. And, I am all for experimentation when it comes to paranormal stuff. So if people want to experiment and take it out or whatever, but there is a reason why things are the way that they are. And I always thought that, but then when we had Gary on, he was very explicit about that. And Chuck, you're absolutely right. Greg Koss's show is on tomorrow at 8 p.m. on Supernatural Inc. That 8 p.m. And so definitely go check it out. It's going to be very interesting. And Greg is not this Greg, even though I kind of consider I am as well. Greg Koss is a very talented person with the spirit box. So definitely catch it. And one of these days, I'm curious how, if I did a spirit box session on the station, how that would go. And for those who don't know what that sounds like, it's not the version of the box I use is not a pleasant sound. It's a lot of white noise. So I'm not sure if that would go over too terribly well, but I've been kind of thinking about how to maybe try one and see if we could make it work through the radio. Because if we got some good responses, that would be pretty incredible as it happens. So, I mean, it's something to think about. I don't know if any of you out there, if you have thoughts, if doing it on the radio show, let me know in the comments if you think that would be something you'd be interested in. Though, for sure, I definitely want to be able to doing that. Let's see. Julianne says, I'm interested in investigating the energy in the paranormal. I remote view, and many times I see light gray to black fog that has consciousness. It's energy. Julianne, I'm going to ask you this, though, because I believe, first of all, don't think I don't believe you, because I 100% believe you. Do you not think, though, that energy appears to people in different ways? I do not think the way that people see things is the same, even within the remote viewer, as far as when it comes to how energy looks, how spirit looks. I have found, and you probably know a ton of people. I know a ton of people who talk with spirit, how they connect with spirit, how they connect with energy. It's all different. It's different for each individual person. And so, like, when someone says, I see it this way, you obviously, I'm sure you never say, oh, I don't necessarily agree with that. That is the, that's just kind of how I see it. So when you're saying many times see light gray to black fog that has a consciousness, I do wonder, and I'm not saying you're the only one who sees it that way, but I do wonder if that becomes more specific to certain mediums and energy healers. Then they're not all of them are seeing it that way. It's just more for me a question, something I'm actually very interested in wondering about, because I do know that it's very different depending on the person. So I find that I just kind of throwing it out there. Once again, I hope that you know that I'm not questioning what you're saying. I 100% see exactly what you're saying, and I find people who do remote readings so very interesting. And then Julianne says, I have no idea. My team picked it up on their equipment. Totally get it. One of these days, and I can't think of the name of the project. I know it. Bring someone on. And I know somebody who says that they were part of the project that worked in the government, that the focus was on remote viewing, working in the government, working on remote viewing into other locations in other countries. Very interesting stuff. What this person has told me is really, I believe a lot of things. This is unbelievable to me. And I'm not quite sure how to process that, where they're telling me that they are also in Mars, underground in Mars and stuff like that. And, my personal way of approaching anything in the subject is it's not my position to say something doesn't happen, right? That is not I cannot do that. It is not for me to say something is not real. But when I'm getting told that this person has said, yeah, I've been in a base underground in Mars for a while, that one is a little bit harder for me, to be very honest, to take on. So that being said, why don't we do this when we come back, unless we have something else, and I keep the comments coming. We'll address those. Otherwise, I want to talk a little bit about demonology in the sense of Ed and Lorraine Warren. I want to talk about their book, The Demonologist, The Extraordinary Career of Ed and Lorraine Warren, because at Ghost Stories and Beyond, we had Joe Frankie out there who worked with the Warrens, and I'm going to have Joe on next week. And I'm going to talk to you about what he's going to talk about, which I think is going to be extraordinarily interesting and a unique perspective. So why don't we do that? We'll take a break. When we come back, I have a lot more to talk about. Please fill up my stream with comments. I'd love to hear from you. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that. Cool! That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Reach your highest level of consciousness and well-being with metamorphosisconnections.com. Metamorphosisconnections.com is an online directory of the best holistic and metaphysical practitioners to help you make your most informed choices. You can search metamorphosisconnections.com for classes, events, wellness and life coaches, plus metaphysical products and shops. You can also search for a wide array of healers from all modalities, including EFT, sound healing, energy healing, light therapy, ancestral healing, shamanic healing, reflexology, past life regressions, hypnotherapy, yoga, and more. And if you're not sure where to start, the search feature on metamorphosisconnections.com is tailored to help both those who know what they are looking for and those who are just starting. Come explore the possibilities for your higher self by visiting metamorphosisconnections.com. Their experienced practitioners can guide both beginners and those that are already on their spiritual journey. That's metamorphosisconnection.com, your link to direct you on your spiritual transformation.
Hello, I'm Jody, also known as Witch Jody on social media. I opened Midwest Witchery and Healing in historic Stillwater because as a nurse, I love to help others. When you come and visit Midwest Witchery and Healing, you will find everything from divination and magical services, classes to ritual tools, jewelries, handcrafted candles, witchy gear, and much more. My store is a safe environment for all on their own unique path. Look for the purple door. Find out more at MidwestWitcheryHealing.com.
If you go to shoprainbowrd.com, you will find an amazing variety of adult novelties, literally thousands of items that you can peruse in the privacy of your home and have shipped to your door. Plus, in the store, you can find swimwear, casual wear, underwear, everywhere. Rainbow Road is located at 109 West Grant Street near Loring Park. Gift cards are available for the hard to shop for. Go to shoprainbowrd.com.
And welcome back to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950. My name is Greg Bakken. Thank you very much. Once again, folks, happy Tuesday. So good to have you with me tonight. So good to be back, if you don't mind me saying so. We've a lot of comments coming in tonight. I really do appreciate it. Just, a little bit of a paranormal chat, just kind of a talk about a couple things here and there, and whatever's on your mind. It's always good to see and hear what you all have to think. Chuck says Ghostbox session on radio might sound off-putting to the listeners. I couldn't agree more. Not disagree. I agree 100%. The static of the FM band could sound amplify over the air. We might try it at some point, but I generally speaking, Chuck, I think that you're absolutely right. Well, first of all, Chuck also goes on to say, funny you brought up Mr. Zero. When I was in Barnes & Noble's this weekend, they had a Naismith album for sale, must be a Nesmith album for sale, and thought it might be assigned or a job at Mr. Zero's store. Yeah, I get it. Julianne says, as we were talking about the remote viewers that were used to help the government, I believe I was, as a child, from 6 to 8, but I was brainwashed to forget Makolta and Stargate combined. I also would love to find someone to talk about Men in Black technology, and that's something that I would really like to talk about as well. Brad says you and Shar need to come back to Indiana for another round of squatching. We miss you guys. Well, we miss you too. Absolutely, very much so. That was a lot of fun. We won't go into the Squatch story again. We've told it a number of times, but very life changing. Speaking of which, today we got some dates in place for the next time we're going to do a live investigation and on the air. Remember, we did that for Halloween. We did that live investigation with Shar and Kyle, and Adam was back here at the station. We're going to do it again. I can't tell you the dates yet because we still got some stuff to figure out, but we're going to do it over the radio again. That was really very interesting, very cool, very cool. We love doing that. What I like the best about that, though, to be honest, I love it that Chad is all over it. The owner of AM 950, he enjoyed it. He loved it. It's him that's asking me, can we do more? Can we go to other places and do more? So if you have ideas, let me know. But I guess more realistically, if you have ideas and actually could help us make it happen, that's going to help me a lot more, because a lot of people could say anything like, yeah, do this, go here, go there. But we actually would need help with getting it all set up and stuff in terms of if you have an in or something we would love do it. So if you want to send me a message at comment@ghostboxradio.com. If you have an idea of where we can go and you can maybe help put in a good word for us to go do it, that would be very, very nice. Brad also says doing a live spirit box session with you was life-changing. I appreciate that very much. You know, it's hard not to sound egotistical when I say this, but I do know that I'm fairly good at it. I do know that if there is somebody that I want to reach out to and I know how to do so, it is mediumship. You know, as you go to you go to a gallery and they bring through loved ones to talk to you. That is what I do with Spirit Box. And when I was doing the Sunday night Spirit Box sessions, that was what it was. People would put in a name in the comments who they'd want me to reach out to. And it would come through. Brad goes on to say the energy was profound in person when you did the session. Yeah, it's intense in a good way. Put it that way. It's not like freaky or anything. It's just there is energy, especially people at the last Grand House event that we did for our students. They got to see firsthand when I did, and that was the last Spirit Box session I've done on Facebook, where I was crossing over spirits as well. Them in the room. I mean, I've been told that they can feel it when they're watching me. Like they could feel the energy watching me. I mean, I could put out energy right now, and you probably could feel it. And but in person, they were just, matter of fact, I had people downstairs who were not taking part, and they were messaging up to people upstairs, like, are you guys crossing over spirits? It was that, there was that much energy involved to it. You know, as Julianne had said earlier, talking about energy science, as you know, we're getting in the comments, that's what it's all about. It's all about energy, folks. At the end of the day, all the paranormal stuff, everything, it's all energy. It's just a matter of being able to know what it is and how to help people in the right situation. That's really what it comes down to. And it's, you know, and the box is calling to me. Julianne says, with Spirit Box listening, does it take a little bit of a trained ear? Yes, but sometimes no. Sometimes it's very, very clear. And I say that in the sense that I don't want people to think, well, I've never done it before, so it's probably not going to work for me. That's not true. Everybody has different experiences with it. And I've been doing it now for, you know, about 15 years. And I mean, I can hear stuff that no one else hears. And you might be like, well, that's super easy. Because I see people who do it and they'll have the box up to their ears and then they'll be like, have this like mini conversation that honestly is not taking place. What I can do is I can hear it, and then we'll play back the recording, and I will point out to you where it was. And not everyone's going to hear the same thing, but you generally get people that do. It's really interesting. If anyone wants to hear some of my recordings, go over to www.mn-ghostbox.org, mn-ghostbox.org. That way there's Spirit Box Evidence is part of the menu on top. You can listen to some of my recordings on there, and you might listen to them and you might be like, what the hell is he talking about? It sounds like nothing. Well, you know, it's again, we all hear things differently. And I've done presentations where I think I played some of my best recordings, and I've had people come up to me afterwards and said, I didn't hear anything. But the difference is that they came up in a respectful manner, and they were just like, I'm sorry, I didn't hear any of the stuff you said it was. And that is completely reasonable. And as a paranormal investigator, and those of you who are listening to me who are paranormal investigators, I hope you follow suit, or that you're doing this already. You can't, gosh, you know, I have some stuff that I think is really good. I really do. But you can't hang your hat on it. you have to be okay that not everyone's going to hear what you heard. And got to respect it, especially when they're coming to you with respect. It's tough sometimes. I have one that I absolutely love from a place called the Soap Factory, where I thought that there was I almost said alien dog. That would be cool, right? A spirit dog walking between us in a place called the Haunted Basement. And I said, using what we call a shack hack spirit box, is somebody's dog here? And you get through the spirit box, in my opinion, extraordinarily clear, a full sentence, and full sentences are hard to come through. When I said, is somebody's dog here? You get a voice, all the same voice. That's my dog. And it's one of my favorite things of all time. Now, once again, I have people who come back and say, I didn't hear that. And that you got to be like, okay. And you know what? Don't try to keep playing it for them until they hear it. Because all they're going to do is like, yeah, okay, I hear it, and they don't hear anything. Don't, like a folding chair, start bashing them over the head with it. If they don't hear it, they don't hear it. You know what you got. And it doesn't mean that they're wrong either. But the worst was when someone said, did the spirit just say, that's my frog? And, that's like, no, that's not what was said at all. And, but who am I to say that they're wrong? That's the whole thing. Paranormal is a pseudoscience at the end of the day. And, you have to be open to all possibilities. Once we start closing our mind to, what we believe, and we get so wrapped up in what we believe, we end up kind of screwing ourselves over. And so it's really important to kind of keep a open mind through all this. The worst is probably orbs. If you take a picture and you see these little like lit bulbs in the picture, they're hotly contested, because orbs can be anything, could be bugs, could be dust. Probably more likely than not, they are, not spirits. And you shouldn't need infrared, night vision, or any of that to be able to see them. You should be able to see them with your own eyes if they're truly orbs. But it's tough. And, I don't want to get into a discussion, excuse me, with somebody who is so much like, yeah, that's an orb. And if it doesn't look it, once again, it's not my place to debunk their evidence. So, couple thoughts that are coming through the comment section. Brad says, spirit chooses who hear them. And I do believe that. When I said that I do the spirit box sessions over Facebook Live, it is my belief that there's times when, someone's asking for Aunt Emma, and I'm like, Aunt Emma, are you there? And I do my thing where I kind of pull Aunt Emma to me. This is what I'm doing. I'm using mediumship. And I hear some stuff. It doesn't really do anything for me. But then the person who asked for Aunt Emma, they're like, that's her voice. She came through. I heard her. And, this is kind of the classic case of your glass of water half empty or half full. I believe that the glass of water is half full, in the sense that I believe just because I didn't hear it, spirit can manipulate so that when it comes over to their speakers that want Aunt Emma, they're hearing her. Like, that's who makes it. And sometimes I do hear it. Sometimes I very much hear it, where I'll be like, is that her? And you get a response and comment, yes, that is her. So it's the half empty side is that someone would be saying, well, they're just hearing what they want to hear. Well, maybe. I mean, that's what I can't argue with that, but the point is, let's just play devil's advocate. What if that is the case? Who cares? Who cares? Because the woman who asked for Aunt Emma, and everybody I know who has ever wanted to hear their relative come through, really wants to know they're okay and have put their own mind at ease. What's wrong with somebody getting their mind put to ease? There is nothing wrong with it. And once again, who am I to judge? Who am I to say whether or not someone actually heard their aunt or not? If they told me they heard it, that's good enough for me. I don't need to be going through and trying to debunk it or see what it. They heard it. Amen. Quite honestly, that's how that works. More often than not, I'm hearing it as well. There is a one at the Hotel Josephine in Kansas, and we're doing an event there, and it was the anniversary of someone's father's death, and they asked, "Can we do a can we do a spirit box session during the break? We just want to know if we can bring him through." And I said, absolutely. So we go on break during the public investigation event, and I sit down with the mother, who's her husband, and the son. And I start using Spirit Box, and I start asking questions, and a male voice comes through the box. I don't know what this guy sounds like. I know nothing about him. But I look to the mother, and she's just looking at me, and a tear is running down her face. He came through, and they had a conversation. And I know a lot of people who love to go to scary locations. I know a lot of people who find it cool to see, hoping to find something dark because they don't understand what they're actually really looking for. But at the end of the day, that right there, what I told you about, is my purpose in the paranormal, is to help people, to help connect them to their loved ones. And that is the thing that I will always, always, always want to do, much more than ever go to a really freaky, scary location and try, people forget this is not the Haunted Mansion at Walt Disney World where you can get off and go. This stuff will follow you. This stuff will always follow you. And you think that you get it cleansed away from you, more often than not, you're wrong. All right. Well, that ended darkly, didn't it? Why don't we go ahead and do this? Let's go ahead and take our next break. When we come back, keep the comments coming. I enjoy it. Hopefully you're enjoying it too. We have a lot more. I have stuff to talk about if we run out of them. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
In the heart of the Northeast, there lies a hidden beast, a dragon's lair at the crossroad, guarded by the maiden mother crone. A treasure trove of spells galore, discover incense, books, jewelry, and more. Just as the oracles foretold, this is where your mystery unfolds. As the shadows creep and the veil gets thin, do not fear what lies within. Magus Books is where your journey begins. Visit us at 1848 Central Avenue Northeast in Minneapolis, or online at magusbooks.com.
If you own a holistic or metaphysical business and are looking to expand, then you need to be listed on metamorphosisconnections.com. It's a network where you can grow with like-minded practitioners and reach new clients. Metamorphosisconnections.com is an online directory you need to list yourself and your business. Our platform makes it easy for you to create listings of your products and services, and you can also choose to list your classes, events, and so much more. Metamorphosisconnections.com helps you create weekly and monthly promotional ads targeted towards your potential clients and promotes them for you via social media and newsletter. There are clients searching for your specialty right now. Let us help them find you. Start your listing today so you can share your own unique gifts and talents by finding the level of membership that best fits your needs. Let us help you reach your clients that are searching for what you do. Visit metamorphosisconnections.com and sign up today.
Hello, I'm Jody, also known as Witch Jody on social media. I opened Midwest Witchery and Healing in historic Stillwater because as a nurse, I love to help others. When you come and visit Midwest Witchery and Healing, you will find everything from divination and magical services, classes to ritual tools, jewelries, handcrafted candles, witchy gear, and much more. My store is a safe environment for all on their own unique path. Look for the purple door. Find out more at MidwestWitcheryHealing.com.
Why must the world be so cold? They've gone against what was told. Thinking rape is cool, think about it. They think it's not wrong, violence against women, the rape, the abuse, the emotional, physical, they all hold the hate. Think about it. Is it right or wrong? What attracts you? I'm not saying no names, but you laugh. Talk about it like nothing is wrong. Think about it. They all hold the hate. Gotta stop the violence. Stop the hate. Think about it.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
And join me tomorrow on Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken. We're going to have back Ghostbox Radio favorite Ernie Pack. We are going to be talking about positive spirit encounters where spirits, ghosts, whatever you want to call them, have made a positive impact on people's lives. You know, we've been talking, actually tonight I was going to talk a little bit more about demonology, and we didn't, or at least we haven't so far, and I am fine with that. But join us tomorrow. Ernie's going to be on. Very happy to have him on. Him and I joke around about each other quite a bit, but I always have time for Ernie and Denise. So that will be tomorrow. And then real fast, in case we don't get to it, I talked about Joe Frankie and talked about how he did Ghost Stories and Beyond with us virtually. He's going to be back on next week, and we're going to be talking about the Amityville Horror from the Warren perspective. Now, he was not around them at the time of the case, but Ed Warren really downloaded the case to him. And we're going to talk about it from the Warren perspective. And I'm really excited about that. So that's going to be, I think that's Tuesday next week as well. Friday, we're going to be doing Casual Friday, first one of the year. We're really excited about it. Linda Judd has asked, please talk about the game show that you do with Miriam. Now, some of you may realize, or not, who knows, that I don't do a Thursday show currently. I'm only doing Monday through Wednesday and Friday. And the reason is I'm doing another show that's online. You can find it on Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken on Facebook, and it's called Myth or Mystery. And it is really a fun show. The purpose of the show is that we have, and this is an interactive show where you can vote for your answer. But the idea is we look at clips that people send to us or we find that are paranormal, and we decide whether it's a myth, which is not paranormal, a mystery, which is paranormal, or unknown, which is we just can't make up our minds one way or the other. And that is open for polling for people who want to go and weigh in, and we see whether or not the panel, which includes myself, Miriam Faresh, who is an extraordinarily talented psychic medium, ridiculously talented. We have Harlow, who is doing all the behind-the-scenes work, who is also ridiculously talented. And then Ryan Headley, who is our video guy and technician, who he's just one of those guys who doesn't purposely tear apart the videos or the photos, but he looks to see if he can find out if, you know, for his, whether or not it's a myth, mystery, or unknown. And the thing about that, which is really cool, you got to watch this thing to see how he goes about and shares his point of view. He has a screen come up. It's like, you know, those play-by-play football analysis where you see them marking up the screen and stuff. He does that. So he's not just sitting there going, nope, not real. It's not real at all. What he does is he's explaining why he thinks that it's not real or why he thinks it is real. And it's so cool. It is probably, you know, it is an amazing show. I think it's a great dynamic amongst all of us. It's every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Once again, you can watch it over at Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken on Facebook. It's also on Things That Go Bump in the Night, or Things That Go Bump Minnesota, which is Ryan's paranormal team. It's also on with Miriam Faresh. We've had her on before for one question readings. So it's really pretty cool. And we can definitely look at it. Linda also says, I have a photo that I sent to Bufon and they requested more info. Would that be useful for the game show? Absolutely. Though I do always want to preface this. We've had people who have sent through their footage and stuff from paranormal locations and stuff. The thing is that, you know, you may not hear what you want to hear about it. You know, we may disagree if we don't think that it's like paranormal. It doesn't mean, and one thing we would never do is be like, oh, it's a fake. We would not do that. We'd say we don't believe it's paranormal. This is why. And I always like to say personally for myself that when I don't think it's paranormal, that I have also been on many investigations where I think something is a certain way and not everyone agrees with it. So I do it with the greatest amount of respect. So anyone who sends through photos or videos, they are, you know, that it may be where we don't agree that it's what you think it is, but please know we would never be rude about it. We would never be disrespectful about it. It would just be our opinion. That doesn't mean that we're right. It's just our opinion. And that is something that we're very excited about. We really do enjoy all of this quite a bit. Let's see if I can find that email address for putting to sending stuff. You can go ahead. You can submit to be a contestant or submit your paranormal videos to mythormystery@yahoo.com. That's mythormystery@yahoo.com. All right. And anyone who wants to do so, please do so. We also do trivia, 2 trivia questions where whoever gets it right, their name gets added to a drawing. Once a month, we give away Myth or Mystery, you know, merchandise like a shirt or a mug. It's very cool. It's really a lot of fun. Please give it a shot. We are really excited about it. Miriam has been putting so much work into it, as well as Harlow. I will be perfectly honest. I have done the least amount on there, mainly because I have this show, which is honestly literally about 12 hours a day of just little things that come at me for it. So as Brad put in there, mythormystery@yahoo.com. It is, I am so blessed. That is correct, Brad. I am so blessed that we have, that they've asked me to take part in it. And once again, I just cannot praise Miriam and Harlow enough for all they do. And Ryan himself has put in so much effort to continue to make everything really work on the footage, and as far as looking and really analyzing the stuff that we get in. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Actually, we might see if there's a way we could do it somehow on this show. I don't know if that's possible, but we want to talk about it and see if that is a possibility or not. But yeah, that's it. And thank you, Linda, I was going to do it anyway, but I appreciate it. It shows that there's some of you who are like to do that. Did you say Ryan is part of Bump in the Night Society? There's a lot of different ones out there. This is one that's based in Minnesota. It's called Things That Go Bump Minnesota. It's not what you're thinking, but it's a paranormal team that's been around for a number of years. Ryan is on it. Some of you may have heard my friend John on here a couple times. John and Ryan are founders of it, and it is very much one of those paranormal teams that if you want someone to figure out what's going on, they will do it. and they're extraordinary at it. Let's see, KC meditation. I don't know what's going on with my mouse. My mouse, I don't know if it's being attracted to cheese or what, but it's not picking up the stuff like I wanted to. KC meditation says, I saw it and thought it was a lot of fun. Thank you. Appreciate it. Linda says, you have a blessing in Harlow to do the admin for the game show. I certainly do. She's really, really something. And obviously I mean that in the best possible way. So yeah, that is, once again, I am so proud to be a part of something that is like that. So thank you very, very much. And Linda says Miriam is a wondrous talent. Yeah, she is, and also very gifted medium as well. Brad says the spirits of the station are messing with your mouse. Sure. It has nothing to do with the fact that I do not know what I'm doing. So yes, you're absolutely right about that, Brad. So yeah, that's what we're doing Thursday night. So please go and check it out. And if there's a way for us to somehow integrate it with anything for the station, we will definitely do our best for those of you who would be interested in it. It's just fun. We have a lot of fun. We kind of rip on each other a lot, but we do it in a loving way. We have about 6 minutes left, and so I'm just sorry. I was just reading Linda's comment. Linda says, so all that you do is guided. You mean like as mediumship? If that's what you mean, then yes, very much so. You know, as we all do, as all we can do is we tap in to what we want. You know, I could just sit here. If I had my spirit box, I could just think of who I want and literally how I do it. And as we were talking with Julianne earlier, it's all about what works for us. No one does it the same way. And I just, if you will, I just kind of grab out and I pull them towards me. That's all I do. Does it mean that they always come? Not necessarily. I think it's more of like, do they always answer? And that's, you know, something that we have no control over. Not every spirit wants to talk. Not everybody wants to have something that you know they want to talk to. It's just, but that's just how it goes. You know, and the thing that bugs me for those who are skeptics is like when they talk to mediums and like someone who's a medium, they stumble in some way, whether they tripped or they said something and they didn't understand something, and someone's like, well, you know, as a medium, you should have known that. Ha ha ha. It doesn't work that way. You know, it doesn't work that way. It never has. There's no reason to expect it to work that way. It's not about getting everything all the time. It's getting the stuff that you need when you ask for it. Sometimes it comes out to you. Sometimes that they come out to you wanting your help. But it's not like because I'm a medium, I'll know, you know, what the lottery tickets are for tomorrow. It doesn't work that way. Really, really very frustrating. Julianne says when you are guided by spirit, you go with it. Absolutely. Do you feel that you use telepathy? I do think so. I do think so. There are people who I'm very close to, and I think you all can agree with people you're close to. You just always know what they're thinking, how you can communicate without even saying a word. I think there's those bonds there, and some I'm sure could do it much more freer than that. But that is definitely, you know, I think that is certainly a thing. KC Meditation says that's how I do it. Then I wait for responses. Very true. And Julianne says that as far as what I said about how mediumship works, she says that's so true. Otherwise, we'd be all sitting on beaches with a drink between investigations, right? I mean, we'd all be rich, wouldn't we? One thing that also bothers me, and I've seen this at fairs, when I'm sitting at fairs and I see people coming up to other mediums at tables, and the question they'll ask is, do you know when I'm going to die? And, you know, if they came to me with that question, I'd so badly want to be like, what time is it now? You know, I mean, just come on. That's so ridiculous. You know when I'm going to die? Just relax, buddy. Enjoy life. Enjoy the gift that not everyone is allowed to enjoy. You know, I don't know about some of you, but I've been noticing a lot of my friends lately have had their close ones or parents or even pets pass away. And honestly, you know, just who cares about when you're going to die? Enjoy the ride. Enjoy it when you can. It's something else. And yeah, Brad says if you get into the paranormal to try and get rich and famous, then the paranormal is not for you. Unfortunately, tell that to a lot of people, right, Brad? And Julianne says, is there an expiration date stamped on the bottom of your foot? Right? Unbelievable. Do you all want me to do this again? Let me know if you want me to do this again at some point, because I've enjoyed it. Hopefully you all got something out of it. It's fun just to talk, and I feel like that it's a real good connection with all of you out there, especially doing the comments and stuff. Really appreciate it. Tomorrow we'll have on Ernie Pack. We're going to talk about some real positive interaction with spirits. It's going to be a great show. Thank you all for joining me tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Everyone, have a great night.
Hey, Minnesota, it's Brad Friedman, host of the Bradcast. You're listening to AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis.